Cinema is a language. It can say things, big, abstract things, and I love that about it. David Lynch. David Lynch, the filmmaker behind Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, and Twin Peaks, has left an indelible mark on the world of horror and surrealist cinema. His ability to tap into the uncanny, the unsettling, and the unknown is unparalleled. David Lynch is one of my favorite filmmakers, if not my favorite filmmaker of all time, and it's kind of surprising to me that it's taken this long for me to make a video about my favorite director. But what exactly makes Lynch's approach to horror so distinct? What is it about his style that can unnerve us so deeply? We'll break down one of the most terrifying scenes ever captured on film at the end of this video. But first, let's take a deep dive into every aspect of David Lynch's work and what makes it so unique and sometimes often terrifying, starting with how he comes up with his ideas.
A little bit of a script right there. It's just the skeleton.
Ideas are like fish. If you want to catch little fish, you can stay in the shallow water. But if you want to catch the big fish, you've got to go deeper, down deep. The fish are more powerful and more pure. David Lynch.
For Lynch, the process of creating horror or any type of film starts with his ideas. He treats them almost like gifts from somewhere mysterious that he reaches in and pulls out from the ether. It's in these depths that Lynch finds the dark, strange images that linger in his work. Whether it's the disturbing dream sequences in Lost Highway or the shocking, violent eruptions in Blue Velvet, the ideas come from places we don't often explore.
Raymond?
Sound design plays an enormous role in Lynch's horror. Think about the constant, unsettling hums in Eraserhead. David Lynch doesn't like to explain everything. He prefers mystery, leaving things unanswered. This refusal to spell things out is key to his horror. When we're uncertain, our minds start to fill in the gaps, and the unknown is always more terrifying than the known. There's comfort when you start talking about explanations. The uncertainty, this feeling of what is going on here, is central to Lynch's horror. His films ask more questions than they answer, and that ambiguity sticks with you long after the credits roll. Many of Lynch's most unsettling moments come not from monsters or supernatural forces, but from the mundane, everyday world. Think of Blue Velvet. The bright suburban landscapes, the white picket fences, and perfectly manicured lawns. All of it hides something darker underneath. It's this juxtaposition that creates true terror in Lynch's films. He makes us question the things we see every day. How do we know what's real? How do we know what's hiding just beneath the surface? For Lynch, dreams are crucial. His films often work according to a strange, dreamlike logic that doesn't always make sense in a traditional narrative way. This disorientation makes us feel uncomfortable. We're used to certain rules in storytelling, and when those rules are broken, it throws us off balance.
I don't remember my dreams too much. I hardly have ever gotten ideas from nighttime dreams, but I love daydreaming and dream logic and the way dreams go. David Lynch.
It's this abstract, dreamlike quality that allows Lynch to tap into our unconscious fears. The things we can't explain but can only feel, like the terrifying face of the homeless man behind the diner in Mulholland Drive, or the unnerving gaze of the mystery man from Lost Highway.
How'd you get inside my house?
You invited me. It is not my custom to go where I am not wanted.
Not only are feelings a huge part of what makes David Lynch's work so unique, but even in their creation, Lynch tends to trust his gut instincts when it comes to coming up with ideas. This intuitive approach is key to Lynch's filmmaking. He doesn't overthink it. He follows his gut and lets the mystery unfold naturally. Horror for Lynch is not something you can plan or force. It's something that reveals itself through the process. Now let's take a look at a scene that I think encompasses all the aspects of David Lynch's horror that we've covered in this video, and it's arguably one of the most unnerving scenes ever captured on film. The Winkies diner scene from Mulholland Drive. If you've never seen Mulholland Drive, I highly recommend it. It's considered a modern masterpiece. But this scene is a masterclass in crafting psychological horror and dread. And it has many of the hallmarks of David Lynch's unique brand of horror that make it that much more awesome. The scene takes place in a commonplace in a bright, sterile environment, the diner. It feels unsettling because it defies the expected horror setting. This makes the space feel familiar to the viewer. And what's happening on the screen seems at odds at what we would expect from that kind of environment. The sound design is ominous, low-frequency hums. It's subtle yet effectively contributes to the growing tension within the scene. It taps into something primal in our brains. We sense the danger, though there's nothing visually alarming happening in the scene yet. The most unnerving thing about this scene is the character's behavior and the acting from the two actors here. The character played by Patrick Fischler is haunted by a dream he had about the diner and a monstrous figure that he saw in that dream hiding behind it. His fear is almost palpable through the screen. It puts the viewer on edge, and the calmness of his friend sitting across from him contrasts sharply with his mounting terror. This contrast heightens the tension. The surrealness of it all pulls us into his psyche, making us share in his fear.
He's the one who's doing it.
We've all from time to time had dreams that put us in a weird state of mind, and Lynch is tapping into that. The viewer can relate to what's going on the screen. The unnatural dialogue delivery, which is kind of a staple of Lynch's work, also helps create that surreal edge to everything as well. The dialogue feels stilted and off-kilter. There's weird pauses and slightly robotic delivery. It amounts to dialogue that feels out of sync to what we feel is normal. Taking a page from Hitchcock's book, Lynch lets us know right up front the information that helps build the tension. The character has had an awful dream about this place, and he's here to see if the man in his dream is really behind the diner. So the entire scene, we're awaiting that build-up, that release of tension to see if this creature really is hiding behind this diner. The coolest thing about this scene, in my opinion, is how Lynch says so much with the character's eye movement as he looks around the diner, and without even saying a word, you can tell that the character is reliving exact moments from his dream. It's playing out just like it did in his dream right before his very eyes. And it's such a masterclass in showing and not telling. The final slow tracking shot at the end is the build-up to the big reveal. And then as the character's horror is realized, it takes his life. The Winkies diner scene has the power to haunt viewers long after it's over because it preys on deep-seated fears of the unknown, the dreamlike, and the terrifying possibilities of our subconscious mind. In this short, deceptively simple scene, Lynch achieves a lasting impact that defies traditional horror and cements itself as a psychologically harrowing experience. David Lynch's approach to horror is unlike any other. His films don't solely rely on jump scares or gore to frighten us. Instead, he uses the power of ideas, sound, mystery, and the mundane to tap into something deeper. A primal fear that we can't truly or fully explain. David Lynch's approach to filmmaking and creating horror is so unique that film lovers around the world now refer to anything that is somewhat similar to his work as being Lynchian. Watching David Lynch's work truly is like waking from a dream. Oftentimes when I'm dreaming, Sometimes even the most mundane things in my dreams can come off as seeming weird or creepy, even if nothing really nightmarish is happening in the dream. A subtle look, a feeling, all of these things combine to just give you that unnerving feeling that you can't quite put your finger on. And somehow David Lynch has tapped into that feeling in a masterful way. In the end, the horror in Lynch's films is not about monsters or ghosts. It's about the unknown, the unexplained, and the deeply unsettling feeling that there's something wrong just beneath the surface. Like I said, David Lynch is one of my favorite filmmakers, and I'm surprised it's taken me this long to make a video dedicated to him, but here we are. If you want to dive even further into the world of mastering horror filmmaking, I have a video just for you. You can check it out right here. Big thanks to our channel members who support us on a monthly basis. I truly appreciate your support. I am Ryan, this is Camp Films, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.